What's his
Sunday, you picked the one metaphor he doesn't agree with here? Well, that's not true. Look, here is the flat sun on a flat plane, and the flat earth, okay, that is on a track that orbits it, like so. So Jimbob, this is gonna be fun. Holy shit, it's 3 hours long. I need to download this before it disappears. Hang on. So I guess we'll just go as far as we can.
48 cents. Why, finally caught a stream in the wild. Let's go.
And an ooga booga to you as well. Thank you. Are you streaming on Patreon also? No, Patreon stream is tomorrow. Patreon streams are Sundays. That is how it is now. All right, here we go. We're just gonna do this. So, Brooks had a stream going over a Jim Dyer video, and Jim Dyer did not do very well in it. So Jimbob, who I recognize the name. Jimbob did a 3.5 hour long response to it. Okay. This intro kind of slaps, actually. Although, Jimbob, if by some ungodly chance you are watching, I am actually happy to talk to you about this. I think that would be fun.
Yo, happy Saturday, y'all.
Hi. I'm Sunday,
hey guys,
actually, but
today,
I don't care.
Impromptu stream. I didn't stream yesterday. Did Ortho Thugs. Took a little rest. And saw this guy talking out his face hole. That we're gonna...
Brooks, you talking at your face hole again? We've talked about this.
We're gonna look at. And, boy, do we have a suit. Boy, do we have a suit on our hands.
Boy, do we have a suit on our hands.
It won't take too long to get started here.
Jimbob is an asshole? Yeah, but his beard is on point. That is a fantastic beard.
Here. Just let people roll
Probably because he has a chin like mine.
in here.
I don't believe in hiding one's weak chin. I believe that is indeed a sign of a deeper weakness of the soul.
Need an Avengers stream? Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's like... That show is so bad. That other Prouty show is so bad that I don't even think mimicking it is a good idea.
Doesn't he mean Protestant, which is Proddy? Protestant?
What do you mean? Proto stream. Yeah, this is a proto stream. I'm still boomering out here. I'm using Restream. I schedule a stream. I get everything sorted. You guys are in there. I hit stream and it starts a new stream. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Thank you for getting it started, Colonel. 5 buckaroonies. Appreciate you.
Hey, where the hell is my colonel? Actually, we have a colonel already. Thank you, Win.
Anyway. So.
By the way, the King Critical Response Fund is still going. We are now at 140. We get 140 more. We are doing the King Critical 14-hour response. And I will hate you. I will hate you with the heat of 1,000 flaming daggers.
This guy, he really is the caricature. You'll see that the thumbnail.
By the way, whatever ideological differences we have with Jimbob, everything he says about Brooks by default is true, okay? That's the rule.
It's not even that different. It's not even that different. We'll take a look at this here. Is it here? Yeah, there he is, see? All right, so we're going to get right into it. This guy he really doesn't like Jay Dyer. Well, a lot of people don't like Jay Dyer. And they usually look like this.
White?
And so we're going to take a look at this from a philosophical perspective. This guy's deep in philosophy, so, you're going to have to meander through the threads of his obtuse, obscure notions and meander and
This is true.
And thought.
He does meander.
And utterances. But I picked up a couple of things that are just
that part's slander. He has no thoughts.
Completely insane that this guy says. I mean, it's just so insane.
So insane.
So we're going to take a look at it.
We're going to take a look at it.
More and more and more intellectual.
And more.
And they give credence to things said in that center part of everything. So how it kind of works, we'll see if this works. We'll see if you guys think this is fucking stupid. If this works, we'll see if you guys think this is fucking stupid. We'll find out. I don't know how well any of this is going to work today. but I really wanted to do this video because someone recommended it and it came up, and it's like, I guess we're going to do this video. So kind of how it works is you have the frauds.
See a flat earther? What's fun?
Like in the center, right? And they're like the Hassan types, right? Sneeko.
I have no context for this line. He's just associating Hassan and Sneeko, so...
he's going to give us the lowdown, guys.
I know he's a creationist. Yeah, but a creationist doesn't mean a flat earther. That's a different level.
As you radiate out from them, okay,
give us the
center is like everyone watches. There's like a huge number of normies that watch it. But as you get further out, you get like one layer, and it's like Jordan B. Peterson, who is in the
Aristophanes was an inside job.
Intellectual side, but he's not a center. He really isn't. He gives credence to arguments made on his side. They appeal to his intellect. And as you continue to go outside, you'll get further and further away, a little bit more esoteric, a little bit more like, who would be a right-winger that does that? Who would be a right-winger that does that? He has not really read philosophy. Like the first 5 minutes of this video is all I've watched.
I disagree. J. Dyer's read philosophy. He's read philosophy badly. Very badly, but he's read philosophy. I think you need to be a little bit careful when you say he hasn't read philosophy. What you mean is he isn't learned in philosophy. He isn't like educated in philosophy. He probably self-read, he probably self-taught himself some books by Aristotle. He's read some Plato, you know, the stuff that reads like novels, the stuff that's easy, not the critical stuff that actually goes back and looks at, hey, what were they packing into this? You know, that sort of takes the stuff they presumed as the goal and the parameters for granted. Like, that's very typical. And that happens with people who are like, who actually do study philosophy formally as well, because they tend to teach it. Certainly if you come at it like from outside of philosophy departments, it very frequently gets taught to you. You get drip fed the stuff chronologically. And everybody knows liberals suck. And guess what? All that middle part stuff, that middle stuff between like Thomas Aquinas and Marx, it's all lib shit. So people read a whole lot of Aristotle and Plato. They think that stuff's really cool. They give up at the midpoint because they're probably given mid material, and they're just in survey mode at this point. And they never read the critical stuff. And they recognize that a whole lot of people today are really stupid and can't really engage with that other stuff very well. And so that's where they end up. And so they think they're doing philosophy, but actually they're just in a weird little book club cult about a couple dead Greek guys that have been responded to and taken seriously for thousands of years by people who they are ignoring.
Watched. We're going to use it as a wonderful way to actually teach people real philosophy.
He says things literally contradicting shit. He said Nietzsche fought degeneracy from the Enlightenment. Like the degeneracy of the Enlightenment, or he fought degeneracy from the position of the Enlightenment.
But as you get further away from like Jordan Peterson, you get like
So there's too much philosophy to read? No, there's not. You don't have to read all of philosophy. You just have to read it carefully, and you have to keep an open mind.
It would be a good
In fact, the coolest thing is when you encounter people who have gone down rabbit holes that nobody else has had the time to do. Klosowski, really cool guy, among other things, because he synthesizes a whole lot of like weird theological stuff that a lot of people in his milieu were ignoring, and he does some really cool stuff with it.
Actionary political guy. Oh, like Essential Salts, who's slightly larger, right? Yeah.
I wish I was based in Colorado to take your icon workshop. Yeah, just to be clear, I'm organizing it. I'm not teaching it, of course. I'm not an iconographer, but a man is coming in from Greece, in fact, to teach it. And so there's about 15 slots available. I think
Icon workshop.
4 people already signed up.
Why do you have an icon workshop if you're not an iconographer?
So yeah,
I guess he's just facilitating it.
It's gonna.
I don't understand this weird obsession with making graven images. You know, there's like commandments about that, right? I'm just saying, like, this is like weird folksy stuff from like medieval times. I don't know why you're doing it in present day. It's a little strange.
Be an intensive though. So if you guys know people in the area who have the time to come in and do it, it is a full week. So it's no joke. So anyone really interested and serious about taking the class, send them my way. Email me, MadeByJimbob@gmail.com, okay?
On Hassan's side, it would be like Contra, right? Contra.
This guy's funny. He uses his little he's like, I like people who draw on their screen.
Right, who is intellectual but kind of pushing on that side, and then you get and I'm way the fuck there's circles and Brooks over here, I'm barely here, but on that other side of things you get my friend Dyer, and
wait, so you're in the same place in the concentric circles as Dyer?
He is.
Jim, Jimmy, Jim. Imagine, if you will, a solar system, okay? Imagine that this battery is the sun. All right? See that? That's the sun, okay? And this pen, that's the Earth. And right now, the Earth is over here in its orbit around the sun. If you are over here, at the exact same position relative to the sun as the Earth is over here, but on this side, while the Earth is over here, you're out of oxygen, Jim. Oxygen, Jim. You're out of oxygen, Jim. I don't think you're going to make it.
Is that edge. The problem is that he is...
What's his... Sunday, you picked the one metaphor he doesn't agree with here? Well, that's not true. Look, here is the flat sun on a flat plane, and the flat Earth, okay, that is on a track that orbits it like so. If the Earth is over here and you are in the exact same part on the concentric circle, okay, the exact same layer over here, while it's over here, you're falling into the flat abyss.
Numbers 12,000. 12,000.
It's really, yeah. Alt-right history guys. Nick Land. Oh, Nick Land. See, that's the kind of thing. Thank you. Nick Land, or Moldbug.
Nick Flatland.
Right? They would be in this thing right here. That's kind of the setup. So
drawing's very pedagogical.
That thing, as you get further out.
I'm getting those glasses, by the way. Anyone who has those, want to send them my way, send them to my fan mail. I'll wear them every stream.
Okay, but you have to call yourself Made by Jim Brooks then, okay?
Get to people who are smaller, but they exist as
They're spreading.
Intellectual stanchions.
And the sexual tension is just, it's oppressive.
And foundations for everything on the rest of it.
Dude, he's ripping it apart.
So, when you have...
this guy's... Dude, wait until you see some of the things he says to his audience. It's wild. They just lap it up.
I don't know. Effectively a Nazi in some capacity, right? As long as you have that, when you have that Nazi thing going on, which he fucking really does.
What? He has the Nazi thing going on? What are you talking about, dude? What kind of responsible person just says that?
Does he look like a responsible person to you? Just saying.
Oh, let's start this J. Dyer, philosophical analysis here of what he's talking about. Because I'm interested in philosophy, I'm interested in philosophy. Let's start the stream by calling a Nazi. What?
It puts you in a spot of hey,
this is Sam Hyde if he was accepted into art school.
What are we doing here? What is the...
That's accurate. That's pretty accurate.
Thing, and how do we think about stuff? And his play, kind of on, I would say, all of this, is really focused on giving justification to far-right, excessively far-right belief.
Oh my gosh, is it ever going to happen?
Excessively far-right beliefs. excessively far right.
Okay.
Excessively so.
Yeah, I don't really have an answer beyond that. Curtis Yarvin, Moldbuck. Yeah, Yarvin. The losers in all of those spaces.
Okay.
Really terrible.
All right.
Really terrible
All right.
people.
Okay.
And Jay Dyer's a pretty awful person. His beliefs are just insane.
Oh, beliefs. Okay, so you're just an awful person now. I mean, does it... I'm trying to give my best here. I'm trying to be like, okay, all right, here's a guy. He's really serious about philosophy. He's going to give us his take. Yeah, he's a Nazi and he's an awful person. Let's just start off with a really awful person.
But what he does, and you're going to see that really fast here, is he gives room for people to shit on things that they don't ever have to read. I kind of do that a little bit. People in general, you're going to watch my channel, you're going to go, hey, Brooke said blah, or blah, blah, blah said blah. And you're going to kind of go with it because you're not going to spend the time that I've spent reading stuff. And that's not your fault. We only have...
Wow.
Wow.
He's already gaslighting people. He's got a lighter hair, blue eyes,
That's not what gaslighting means.
Christian, got to be a Yahtzee, of course. Mm-hmm.
Gaslighting means you're telling someone they're crazy, they're not seeing what they're seeing with their own eyes. That's what gaslighting is.
That's the way you think. That's the way it goes.
So many things. I'm not
It's from a play, I think.
going to read everything everyone's ever written.
Or something. I don't fucking read books.
Because, there's this much time and there's this many books. So, instead, what we do is you kind of get filtered by people. And Jay has really spent a lot of time definitely trying to do that. Why
Okay.
did it do that? What the fuck?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Stop.
Oh, okay. Come on, guy. You got this.
Come on, guy.
So
You can do this.
Keep it together.
You got this.
You
still
got
learning
this.
how to do all of this.
He doesn't
Got a
have
little
it.
whiteboardy effect.
He doesn't got this.
You got this, guy.
Now,
No, he doesn't. Stop
this
giving him
is
false hope.
janky how I have it set up because I have the way it's working is
Hang on. I'm sorry. We need to do something here, okay? Okay. We ready?
I have it set up so I can see fucking something.
Come on, Boomer.
Not doing the Jang thing today. I want to actually be able to focus on this. I want to be able to get through this. I don't have forever. I've got a couple of hours, and then I've got shit to do. And Jay Dyer's not worth
He
it.
does not have shit to do. He DM'd me about this. Sunday, look. Lies. You viper.
The time. What is worth the time is you people and the people who will watch this, so that way they can understand how to know why he's fucking stupid and hasn't read, but also to be able to, hey, this is actually, if someone says, hey, materialism's this, you can go,
Bro.
hey, it's fucking
You're
not.
so sensitive. Just get over it. Get over it. You've seen what they call me? Just get it. You'll be fine. He'll be fine. Jay Dyer will be fine. He knows he's dumb. It's okay.
You fucking, obviously. So, that's going to be basically what the stream is today.
It's amazing.
It's been fun. It's great. And I will accidentally draw many rocket ships. Don't worry. Do not worry.
Critique Darwinism, and I critique
1 second. That is quiet today.
the anti-creation.
Boop, boop. Wow. This is how good this is going to be. And I just want to note the things
Average Primus fan.
he's already claimed. So he's already claimed that
Seriously, dude.
We are
with
20 minutes in almost.
materialism.
The irony of calling Jay stupid. This guy immediately said...
The irony of calling Jay stupid. Isn't there this meme that like a certain percentage of people in the world literally cannot understand irony? Like they just can't process it?
He does the same thing.
I'm not saying it's you, Jimbob. I'm just saying, what's the irony?
Well, no, you'll see this as a theme, Fredo. Everything he's going to accuse Jay of, he's actually mirroring, and apparently he doesn't know it.
He does kind of look like a Nazi.
Is atheism.
Materialism would be atheism.
No, it wouldn't.
It would be atheism.
No, it wouldn't.
Now,
Materialism is a methodology that insists upon not extrapolating from the world an additional copycat world that mirrors it as an explanation of itself. It doesn't say anything whatsoever about that which exists beyond the material because it doesn't have anything to say about that. You can absolutely have a materialism that is not strictly speaking positively atheistic, right? That's a thing you can do. A lot of materialists are like that. A lot of atheists are like that, actually.
I could see how people can like try to do some philosophizing to try to definitionally get your way out of this, but the reduction ends up being true, honestly. But this is
But honestly, it doesn't.
Colloquialism anyway.
Like, for example, as a materialist, I would absolutely not invoke spirit or God, etc. to explain anything in the world, but I would not, on the basis of my materialism, say such an entity as is being gestured at by many philosophers when they refer to God doesn't exist or is incoherent. Because these are different things. What I would point out is that it appears as though the way in which we arrive at a conception of a thing called quote-unquote God does appear to be downstream from a whole lot of material things, which makes it highly suspect. But that does not mean I am positively affirming that there is not such a X that does X, Y, and Z, right? That would be beyond my competency. That would be an inappropriate statement. That would be a reach. However, I also have no reason to think it is there.
To say materialist view, the atheist view, you know, a general view that holds, well, the rejection of God as it's defined couldn't, you know, is a claim that some immaterial...
Any monism is materialist? That's not true. That's simply not true. One of the problems that you're dealing with when you talk about any language that is derived from notions of there being multiples of substances is that the material as a concept tends to be a reaction to the spiritual as a concept. And so it tends to be the spiritual minus, which is still incorporating the quote-unquote spiritual or whatever into that.
Uncreated being exists in almost every sense of the word God across time. So, you know, the reason people reject God often...
No, I'm saying that's the implication of what you said. I don't think it's the implication of what I said. I disagree.
And almost always, from the atheist view, is there's no evidence.
Like, the beginning of what I said is that materialism is fundamentally a methodology, not a dogma. It's a methodology, not a dogma. If it's a dogma, it's as stupid as dualism, bluntly. Which is not stupid. As a method, it's just incorrect. It's fraught, right?
And so they're evidentialists, which means they're empiricists. And then because they're empiricists, they end up, if
Evidentialist doesn't mean empiricist.
you push them, they hold a materialist view.
For one, not all evidence is empirical.
When you push them.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Just like, do you understand? That's a wow. That's a fucking huge claim. But he's smuggling because that's what he does. It's a moral thing, right? It's a moral thing.
What?
Everything's ethical. Everything's moral. He doesn't have the ability to talk about anything in other ways.
Is there something immoral about that? Is there something wrong with that? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I missed the context for that.
Everything's moral. He doesn't have the ability to talk about anything in other ways. Everything's ethical, right? It's a moral thing.
What?
Everything's ethical. Everything's moral. He doesn't have the ability to talk about anything in other ways.
Is there something immoral about that?
Okay. Really? No. Okay, Jimbob, I love you. Listen. Brooks is not saying that saying materialism equals atheism is immoral. He is diagnosing Jay as not being able to talk about stuff outside of a moralizing key. And what I mean by that is he is unable to suspend his visceral negative reaction to the language in which certain types of points of view of the world are expressed enough in order to objectively assess them as a philosopher has to. Let me put that in even simpler terms. He's saying Jay Dyer gets too emotional when he talks about this stuff. He can't talk about materialism without morally condemning it. He can't argue seriously. Make sense? Okay.
Is there something wrong with that? I'm sorry. Didn't you just start the stream, jackass, saying he's a Nazi, he's a bad person? You literally started the freaking stream calling him a bad person.
Yeah.
You Coomer Viking wannabe?
So he's got an equivalent.
That's fair. Jimbob snatching the win from the jaws of defeat.
Make those things equivalent. But then, on top of that, that materialism, and don't worry, he doesn't understand materialism,
Brooks, don't deny it.
means that
We were all worried.
knowledge is
Remember, I have access to your Plex. I know what movies you watch.
impossible.
It is. Yes, materialism does equal knowledge is impossible. Yes.
No, it doesn't.
What the fuck, dude? No, like,
How does that work?
this is, I wonder,
Why would a materialist say that knowledge is impossible? That would make the statement knowledge is impossible to justify.
if anyone in the history of these systems has ever considered how knowledge would work.
We need Nietzsche here. Nietzsche would explode these people's brains. We cannot bring Nietzsche into this. Nietzsche has already been here, okay? Nietzsche did not write for these people for a reason.
That the first thing you need to understand is
How knowledge would work.
if you are ever
Why don't you explain this to us, Jimbob? How does knowledge work?
asking a question of a major
How does knowledge work non-materialistically? Because you have knowledge of material objects. How does that enter into your brain? How does that enter into your perception? Is it mediated by material? Oh yeah, it is. Well, there.
philosophical tradition.
What's the person's name? Quarantine Collective.
Idealism would be the same thing, by the way. If you're a
Good ad.
materialist and you're like, idealism's dumb. What? They think everything's ideas? Take a second and be like, hey, I, a moron, am asking a question that seems obvious to me. People have dedicated their lives to it. Is it that I am just so brilliant that I was able to come up with this with having read almost nothing? Or is there a chance that someone has written a thing about that? The answer is always two. Always.
Wouldn't have the ability to have knowledge.
Do you think that someone writing about something... I'm sorry. Did you just say that, well, if I come up with a refutation and I make an argument about it, he's like, what's it more likely?
I don't hate this guy. I feel a bit bad for him, but I don't hate this guy. I don't hate him. I'm sure he's got some awful beliefs. I don't hate this guy.
That you're right, or someone else wrote something on it.
Don't get me wrong. I know nothing about this guy. I'm sure I could be persuaded. I don't hate this guy. This is kind of funny.
I don't know. There might be a third option, guy.
And I also want to point out as well, like, I don't know why I'm defending this. A misguided attempt to be magnanimous.
Maybe the third option is people who write about...
I do hate him for he hates us. Yeah, but hating people who hate you doesn't beat them. You want to beat them, right? But I don't think that matters here. If you want to hate him, you go right on ahead. I'm not going to lecture you. He hates you Sunday for sure. Oh, probably. Absolutely.
About stuff.
I only hate people who I respect. Like you.
It doesn't follow that that it's true because they wrote about it. It's basic. Looking at Bizarro World Sam Hyde here is making me nauseous. Thank you for what you do. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate that. And we met the first goal. Thank you so much, y'all.
And so I kind of go into what would be the end result of a universe like that. And so the fact that we do have knowledge, the fact that we do have the ability to predicate things in the world, that we have the ability to do...
To predicate things in the world? What?
Reasoning, to do logic and so forth. Those things themselves show us that the world cannot be a purely material world. In other words, all...
Predicate things? I don't know what that means, to predicate things in the world.
He's fucking great.
All that exists is matter, right? We're not talking about materialism in the sense of accumulating possessions. We're talking about it in the philosophical sense of The idea that nothing exists except pure, solid, hardcore matter. That's it.
Yeah.
That's not what materialism is either.
I love it. I love how it's like we're anti-materialism. He's pausing every few seconds because of super chats. So much for your anti-materialism.
Oh, really?
By anyone who's ever written about
Speaking of which, I am a materialist. Where the hell are my super chats? I am streaming a second time tonight. I am exhausted, and I'm making a video essay tomorrow as well, on top of the video essay I'm already making on Patreon. And yet, none of you want to spend $140 and get me to react to 14 hours of King Critical? Really? You don't want me to suffer that badly?
materialism. Not like, oh, this version of it. But
we
like,
are almost half an hour in and nothing has been said.
Like, no materialism ever says that. That's literally...
Okay. All right.
I love your squid. Squiddleton only identifies as a squid. She will never be a real squid.
Materialism is the philosophy, the doctrine that reality consists solely of matter and physical interactions. You liar.
Wait, say again? Slow down, cowboy.
It's the philosophy. Okay.
Someone who's ever written about materialism. Not like, oh, this version of it, but like by...
Solid, hardcore matter. That's
hardcore matter. Hardcore.
Yeah.
That's not what materialism is either.
That's what
Captain
materialism
Jumpy
is.
super chatted $10. King Critical Fund.
We were at 130 for King Critical.
Oh, really?
By anyone who's ever written about materialism. Not like, oh, this version of it, but like no materialism ever says that. That's literally...
Okay. He's reading Google Gemini. I don't think he's reading Google Gemini. I don't mind him Googling.
At nid_y super chatted $10. Cheers.
Thank you very much. We are at 120.
All right. Materialism is the philosophy, the doctrine that reality consists solely of matter.
At Dark super chatted $5.57. Never say begging doesn't work. Put this in the King Critical jar.
Oh, it works so well. Thank you so much. We are at 115 for the King Critical thing.
And physical interactions.
We need Felix on it. You're getting Felix on Patreon tomorrow. Felix is on Patreon. We're doing tomorrow on the Patreon, which is linked in the description. We are covering more of Felix on Felix Guattari and how Brooks gets schizophrenia very wrong, because apparently this is the Down with Brooks week. And we're also going to be going over Donna Haraway's Cyborg Manifesto, which, if you're not familiar with, is insanely good. I'm not on Patreon Sunday? That sounds like a you problem, Intellectual Joker. It's only $5 a month, and you get extra free content that you pay for. It'll be on President Sunday Dark in a week. Okay, if you're too cheap for that, you can wait for the Clips channel segment to come out.
You liar. It's amazing how they just come out and say, nobody says this. Nobody.
Ooh.
At Dodgy Archetype 3251 super chatted $13.24. Removing $10 from the KC fund. Play Killer 7 instead.
Great game. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Zach Ball, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Very much appreciate that. So we are now at 125 for the Casey thing. Reminder, you can actually donate for me not to do it, and I really hope you do. Partially because it makes me more money, but mostly because it prevents me from having to do it. I don't want to sit through 30 hours of King Critical. Think about what you're doing to me.
Nobody ever says this. Nobody ever says materialism has to do with the idea that the world is strictly material.
What? No, vulgar atheists like Richard Dawkins talk about materialism in that way. I conjecture. I can't remember a time he's actually specifically talked about materialism as such. But materialism specifically is a methodology. You're equating materialism with physicalism. Which, by the way, does not prevent there being in existence the one true God, behemicoital. Okay? Just to be clear.
Now, you could say
Mark Reed and friends, thank you for joining.
physicalism and materialism have a distinction in that not everything that's physical is necessarily material.
Hang on. Hang on a second. Wait a minute. Hang on. Is my brain not working or is Jimbob's?
Idea that the world, nobody ever says material. Nobody ever. It's amazing how they just come out and say, nobody says this. Nobody ever says this. Nobody ever says.
He means no philosophers say this. Nobody serious says this. Obviously, you can find idiots saying everything.
Materialism has to do with the idea that the world is strictly material. Now, you could say physicalism and materialism have a distinction in that not everything that's physical is necessarily material.
Strike that, reverse it. But also no. 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 Materialism is a methodology that specifically eschews doubling reality so that you are not using ghostly stuff to explain the stuff that we can actually perceive. That's all. It is not making positive statements about stuff we can't perceive because we can't perceive them. It's the necessary conclusion of empiricism. It is not. No. 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 Now, materialism doesn't equal physicalism. It's just, oh god. It's like what does physicalism even mean at that point then, if these are equivalent? It's essentially methodological monism without the Spinozist baggage, is how I would put it.
You could say the phenomenon of magnetism is physical but not material.
But why? Cha-ching.
But it doesn't get you away from this problem of knowledge.
No. Yeah, but... Wait. But you haven't solved the problem of knowledge either. You've just posited an additional stuff and have assumed it does the work for you.
Half Havite. He looks like a sad mob.
Yeah.
He does.
He looks like
this is true.
He looks like someone who got, I don't know, let go of a substitute teaching job. He looks like a substitute teacher at Hogwarts who got let go for being inappropriate with the kids.
You had to make that face right then, Brooks. You had to make that face? That was the face you made as soon as I said that? You should have foreseen this. A Hogwarts professor would know better.
Physicalism and also not physicalism. So it's kind of like magic how he starts. So let's go up front. Let's have a conversation here about what materialism is, right? Let's have that conversation because it's kind of important.
It's kind of
materialism.
Snagglebeast says, bonus Saturday stream. I just got done helping my dad change his brakes and shopping.
Nice.
Now I can relax and watch one of my favorite steamers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Major tradition in the world of philosophy, and one that extends significantly back. Like, this is not like a small thing that's like, oh, Marx did this.
Okay, are you going to actually say what materialism is, or are you going to just bloviate?
But a
true
general materialism, as we talk about it today,
no, he's going to do it.
Extends back very far.
Shit, no, he's not.
That's great. We didn't ask. Jay didn't say how old is materialism. Notice how he didn't say that.
That's because it's a video, Jimbob. He technically is not saying anything. This is a recording in the past. In fact, even technically, this is a recording because there's latency.
Are you going to tell us what materialism, or are you going to give us the backstory of the song that you're
Yeah, Brooks, tell us what materialism.
never going to sing?
Leibniz, Spinoza,
Oh, wow, he knows names.
Hundreds
He knows names. I know names too.
of years, and extremely large amounts of, even I would argue,
Listen, Downs Jimbob. You just
I shouldn't laugh at that.
need to get to the point.
back to the fucking
I shouldn't laugh at that.
Stoics in various ways.
I really shouldn't laugh at that.
But modern materialism,
And I'm sorry that I did for a moment.
as we sort of talk about it,
Uh-huh.
is not the idea that everything's physical.
Yeah, but what is it?
That's not it.
It's a methodology. It's an approach to how we understand or attempt to explain things.
What is
The
it?
way that people talk about materialism and the way it works in philosophy,
Okay.
Okay.
right?
Right.
The way it works in philosophy. And if he's
Yeah,
going to be
okay.
philosophy-minded,
Okay.
I would assume he's read anything that exists today,
Okay.
not counting random 4chan posts, which is really probably where he gets most of his stuff.
What are you doing?
The idea is that mental states, for example, which he brings up,
A mental state.
those are
See Discord? What is it? What is this? How true, Jim? How true?
real.
What do you mean real? Are they materially real? Are they concrete? When you say real, what are you saying, Goblin Boy? What are you saying?
Goblin Boy is kind of weak. You were doing better earlier. Let it recharge. It's okay, Jim. You don't need to blow your load all at once.
I didn't know Hogwarts had an extended school
No, you did that joke already.
for the special people.
They don't. They send them into the dark forest as a disciplinary measure, and they let the weak ones die.
Does he have a tiny hat on? No, headphones.
It does look like he has a tiny hat on. There's a little, like, his headphones have, like, a little strap underneath. It's like a skull cap.
They're causally efficacious and irreducible to microphysics, even if they are grounded in physical processes.
He's hiding a weak jawline behind a bear? That's a dangerous way to hide a weak jawline.
So, for example, one of the things that materialists talk about is the odd way that we're able to talk
That wasn't an edit, by the way. Brooks just farted at that point.
about how things exist as named whole beings, or that there are multiples of them, for example. And there's a lot of versions of the
That one was me. I'm sorry.
way we talk about how these ideas work. There's Churchland, who writes extensively about sort of an eliminativism
God, that felt good.
materialist view. There's
They just never get to, they just never say. We're talking about the ontology
He does kind of have a rabbi vibe.
of things that
It's
are
the beard.
real in the world, that we consider, that we constitute having existence, any existence, a type of existence.
Hang on, I gotta hear this again.
They just
sort of an eliminativism
Yeah.
materialist view. There's
they just never get to, they just never say.
Sir, you have let him speak for a couple of seconds. We're 30 minutes in. You haven't let any of the video progress.
We're talking about the ontology of things that are real in the world,
As opposed to the ontology of things that are not real in the world?
that we consider, that we constitute
That we constitute. Are you God?
having existence, any
That we constitute having existence.
existence,
Any
a
existence.
type of existence.
A type of existence.
emergent.
You know, Jim. Jim, Jimmy, Jim. These words do have meaning. Just FYI. Ontology has to do with the conditions and the meaning of being. What that entails, what that means. What that signifies. Like, he knows the word ontology. He knows the word ontology. I don't know if he knows what the word ontology means, though.
I tend to be
Of course, emergentist, yeah.
sort of
What?
ish.
Wait, what? Sorry?
Existence. Any existence. A type of existence.
Emergent, I tend to be
Of course, emergentist, yeah.
sort of ish in this direction. And this is like Jung-Woon Kim, who writes about that
What is your issue with emergentism exactly?
type of materialism. There's property dualism. There's a lot of versions of this, but there isn't one that talks about the
It's crazy. How was Jimbob able to change the camera angle on Brooks' stream like that?
mind or ideas or everything needing to be hardcore matter.
Blah, 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 blah. The question isn't whether or not people hold positions. The question isn't whether or not you can try to take an ad hoc, nuanced position on
An ad hoc.
some things ontology.
Why would it be ad hoc? Do you know what ad hoc means?
You mentioned minds.
Why ad hoc? Where did that come from?
If you mention minds, you're going to have to ground and defend what a mind is from whatever given view you have.
Why ad hoc?
You sophist pig.
True.
And I mention this because if we're going to go back, and there's no chance he doesn't talk about Marx because he has to.
Notice how this is. It's all he's doing to his audience. He's like some, I don't know. He's like a skid mark of Vosh.
I'm logging that one away. That was ill used. That was wasted, but that's pretty good. I'm gonna save that for a better time.
He's like Vosh has a skid mark on his underwear.
Oh, I did not need a picture of that.
This dude's faking it. He's never gonna get anywhere.
Talk about Marx. You know, directly tag him as asking for drama in response. I'm okay with that with Dyer. He's a bad person. That's fine.
I'm gonna grab some more water. I'll be right back, guys. Remember, we are 125 away from getting the 14-hour King Critical React stream. I'll be right back.
That's fine. I don't mind it with Dyer.
More like gained off.
People who I have, I try not to do that with people that I have general political movement with.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That I consider to be-
This guy smells his own farts all day. He has a vent system. He's got an HVAC system that comes right out of his butt, right into his face under his computer.
Everyone does this.
Allies of.
Stop pretending it's not normal.
He ain't that. And plus, he's just about the right size to take shots.
It's sad that these people, they're never going to be smart enough to know how boring they are.
Because he's kind of
He likes
dumber
to
than he
say
thinks.
things.
And I would look forward to him taking apart things I say because
Let me get. Okay, so you're doing the whole, please, Daddy Dyer, notice me. Jay, I'm going to tag you in my title. Please notice me, please.
No, he thinks it's gonna be funny because he's gonna do a very bad job. That's what it is, Jim.
Notice me. I think you're dumb and stupid. Please talk to me. Come sit at my gross table with the boogers underneath it.
I don't think Brooks would be so cowardly as to put the boogers under his table, to be fair.
Right? It's epistemological to metaphorical. Just unmute so you can explain the materials that grounds justification of emerging positions. Yeah. He's never going to get into it,
What does that mean?
though.
it'll be funny. Marx, who is the dad of materialism, especially for people like Dyer. Marx actually went out of his way in his piece on Feuerbach, actually, to condemn the idea specifically of this vulgar materialist view. Because
See, this is a lot of what you'll see mostly with these suits who read up, who's sitting alone, they don't have any kids, they're
He has kids. He does not sit alone, and he's read books. He has read books. You got him. You got him, Jim. He reads books. You stupid losers with your books and your ideas and your hair.
They're lonely people, right? This guy probably has one of those sex dolls, probably. Probably. They talk about the history of things instead of the position of things.
Those mean the same thing, actually, Jim.
And so when you ask him about a position or you bring up a position, instead of refuting what Jay's saying, he goes into the history of something that Jay mentions, and as if knowing the history is a suitable substitute for a counter argument or a positive argument.
Well, it is a suitable counter argument if the person is characterizing a position, say, in a way that is actually incongruous with its history, i.e. with the way its representatives actually talk about it. Because then that means Jay Dyer is actually wrong. That's what that means.
No, it's not. All he said was materialists don't say mental states are hardcore matter. Still doesn't answer what materialism. He never.
That's because he's let the video run for like 5 consecutive minutes.
Answers what it is. It's just ambiguous.
And
this is what you'll see. I mean, you've seen all the philosophy suits calling to Jay, or some call into my show when I open it up. And what they constantly do, instead of saying what they believe, they list what other people might say. And that's their entire identity. It's the weirdest thing ever.
But to say materialism equals atheism is to do that, though. That's doing that. You're just being non-specific. You're attributing positions to a whole bunch of people at a nod, willy-nilly, but not justifying it. So your criticism is that he substantiates what he says, as opposed to you who just makes shit up.
They're like, well, there are some philosophers, and we're like, what are you saying? What are you saying it is? Well, I mean, I could take this approach, and I could take that approach, and I could take a view that this. And there's a whole slew of things I'm sure you've read that, if you go back before Marx and Hegel, you'll see that there was actually these obtuse positions that never really got popularized, and some people think
they didn't get popularized. How does he know about them?
Think they weren't popularized for some economic reasons, and that gets me
Nothing was what?
Do a whole lot of other thing. It's like, shut up, dude.
Ooh, what are you talking about?
Shut up. This guy grows mushrooms from his own poop and talks to it.
It treats matter as.
I thought you guys were like traditionalists and, orthodox and whatnot. They grow crops from their own poop. There's lots of orthodox peasants who grow lots of stuff from their own poop. Poop is a great fertilizer.
An inert thing.
But on the other hand,
right? Like, yeah. Matter.
You have an issue with the phrase "the other hand." On the other hand,
to Marx.
Hey, remember you were going to tell us what materialism is, but you forgot.
Marx was not.
You haven't let the video play.
Inert. It wasn't passive. Materialists don't generally think of it as being just that stuff. It's just that stuff. Instead, most of the people in what we would call materialist discourse don't think of it that way.
I'm starting to understand why he unlisted this VOD, because dear God. Instead,
material matter, things that exist, are active. They're relationally based.
See what I'm saying? He's still not getting to what things are ontologically. He's now saying what they do. They're active. What does that mean? What is the ontology of something that it's active? What are you talking about, dude?
They're procedural, programmatic sort of processes of all of it.
Let me translate for you.
That's fair.
They're processional, procedural, problematic, programmable probability. They're essentially essenced in my
No, that would be the opposite. If they're a process, they probably don't have an essence in that way, Jim.
palpableness.
Processes change over time. That's why they're a process.
Right to the gulags.
We transform
Why right to the gulags? Are you a communist?
nature. We do this through our practice in the
I'm sorry, still not telling us what materialism, we transform nature? I'm sorry, when did you ever transform nature, Chud?
When he pooped, he transformed nature. He ate something that was artificed by man, and then he changed it with his biological system into poop, which he then grew mushrooms from. That's how you transform nature, Jim.
Tell me one example of when you transformed nature, bucko. Word maxer. Yeah, these are all metaphysics, Utard.
What?
They're all immaterial concepts.
They're immaterial concepts.
No, it's active, and
Is that... What?
What we do is program and change nature.
world for how we deal with
Listen to this nonsense, dude.
I'm trying. You keep pausing it.
in his piece on Feuerbach, actually, to condemn the idea specifically of this.
That's a reference to a book, by the way, Jim. He's saying that Marx in a book says this argument. If that's, I realize that's a complicated thought for you. But Marx has a section in the German ideology called the Thesis on Feuerbach. It's in bullet point form, easy to follow.
This vulgar materialist view, because it treats matter as an inert thing, right? Like,
Right.
do you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is matter an inert thing, Jim?
matter
yeah. Matter itself.
to Marx
What does that mean? What are you referring to when you say matter itself?
was not
Matter itself is apart from what? What are you referring to?
inert. It wasn't passive.
Who cares what it was to Mark, bro? Mark. Who cares?
Mark.
Jay didn't say Marx thought this. He's saying materialism is this.
Yeah, but who does he think he's including under materialists, the people who promulgate materialism?
Pure matter. You can move that over to physicalism.
Pure matter? What's impure matter?
It doesn't get you out of the problem, dude.
What's the problem? What is the problem that is unique to his position that you don't also have to bear?
This guy is so boring. I'm going to go read a dictionary from cover to cover for fun.
Let me see if I
He threw
get...
himself away from World of Warcraft long enough to make this stream.
Let me put it on 1.25 just to heal you guys a little bit.
Oh, thank God.
Never getting to the core of anything right here.
That's because you spent 40 minutes pausing every 5 seconds.
Materialists don't generally think of it as being just that stuff. It's just that stuff. Instead,
And it's not like you were pausing every 5 seconds because you had substantive disagreements. It's because you wanted to put in fart sound effects. Like, that's a little embarrassing for you, dude.
most of the people in what we would call materialist discourse.
Like, you got kids? I think you're making good money from this channel. Your kids are probably going to have better economic opportunities than you. That means they'll be smarter. They will know how dumb you are. Try harder. I know your future. Don't worry. I mean, actually worry. Worry hard. I know your future.
Think of it that way. Instead, material matter, things that exist are active. They're relationally based. They're procedural, programmatic sort of processes of all of it going. We transform nature. We do this through our practice in the world.
Who is we? What's a we? You're making...
A we is what's between your legs, but he's talking about the royal we. Human beings generally metabolize the world, and we literally like pull stuff off of it, we dig it, and we change its shape. We transform the world. In perception, we receive signals with our senses that we then turn into perceptions and ideas of things. They aren't actually distinct from each other. Like, for example, when you look at the ocean and you see individual waves, quote unquote, they aren't actually individual things, but we can think of them as such. That's a transformation. It's not that difficult to understand, actually. Not even a thing that you need to be a left-winger or a critical theorist or a materialist to understand. In fact, most of this was already, you know, grokked, so to speak, by like scholastic philosophers, the people you ostensibly respect.
Making metaphysical claims, dude. You're granting that there's we and there's intentionality, and then we use our intentionality. What are you referring to if it's not pure matter, dude?
What you keep saying pure matter? What else? What is the impurity in this matter? What are you referring to?
Unbelievable, man.
For how
We transform matter. We do this. We. What?
we deal with things.
All the way home.
Right?
Well, what's a we?
Yeah, the Essian Feuerbach, exactly, Cosmic. We do this.
Essay on Feuerbach is not specific enough, by the way, Brooks, just FYI.
We do this. Because I'm right.
No, we do this because we're made of stuff, and we need to eat stuff, and touch stuff, and move stuff.
Processional processes, pigeon toes.
That transformation that we do.
The procedural...
Who is Feuerbach, Jim? Do you have any idea? Just... No? Okay. Marx gets his idea of species being from him. He doesn't even, like, just critique him. He makes use of him.
Protections of problematic prescriptions. It's a withering of the nature. It's a twiddling of the thumbs.
Took a long time to get to thumbs there.
It's a pulling of the weeds.
Is the constitutive element of knowledge.
We deal.
Pulling weeds is transforming nature, by the way.
We're dealing with things.
Isn't it thesis on Feuerbach, not essay? Well, and there's different writings on that mention and talk about Feuerbach, right? There's the stuff on the young Hegelians in the German ideology. There's the thesis on Feuerbach, which is its own thing, but I think it's included in there. I don't know.
Listen to this part. This is hilarious. Listen to this part.
Okay.
Their procedural, programmatic sort of processes of all of it going. We transform nature. We do this
This is like you could preserve meat for a very long time with an IQ temperature this high.
through our practice in the world for how we deal with things, right? Yeah, the Essian Feuerbach, exactly, Cosmic.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
We do this.
We do this.
That transformation that we do is the constitutive element of knowledge itself.
The constitute element of knowledge
Constitutive. There's an IVE at the end of that.
itself is we do things.
I mean, yeah. Do you have knowledge of stuff that you don't hear, see, taste, or touch? Probably not. If you do, you might want to see a doctor.
We're getting places, guys. We are getting places. We be do this, and what the
We be do this.
constitute of knowledge is just action. That's what it is.
That's the entire
What?
point of sort of Marx's work. There's a reason it matters.
This guy 100% has smashed thousands of dollars worth of his own property in impotent rage. It kind of looks like Haley Joel Osment if he, dieted for a couple months.
And then if you go in his
What is the reason it matters? Another thing you're leaving out, Chud.
sort of, well, for me, I would guess, in the genealogy sense, I would argue, again, this is everyone's got their directions of Marx. I think for me, Simondon would be the next one in line who really...
Never seen such an explanation that explains nothing. It really is the embodiment.
He didn't say he was going to explain it.
Of it, isn't it?
You asked a video that was recorded before you recorded this to explain something to you, and the video didn't respond organically to you because it's a video.
It's like and this guy has no excuse. He has great.
Marx openly okay. Do you think Marx was stating that he believes in the existence of a being called Satan, or do you think he was stating his antagonism to Christian metaphysics and the positing of a magical spiritual realm by which frightened morons can justify oppressing their neighbors while feeling good about themselves because they're following some higher purpose? Do you think maybe that's what Marx was doing? Because I gotta tell you, if the underlying flaw in all of this logic is, do you really think all of these selfish hedonistic people, if they actually believed in the literal existence of God and Satan, would not weigh, hey, Sex only after marriage or eternal hellfire. Which one? Because that's a pretty easy sell. You have to posit that these are better Christians than you, because you guys are frightened losers who pretend to believe in God and then always, without fail, end up divorced, lonely child abusers in the media. Typically who have sought the comfort of a male prostitute at some point in your life. It's like clockwork.
Of it, isn't it? It's like...
None of which, by the way, would be anything to condemn you or criticize you for, minus the child abuse part. Except for the fact that you lie about it and tell people incorrect things.
Like and this guy has no excuse. He has gray hair in his beard. He's clear.
I love Haley Joel Osment. He's a great actor. I wasn't criticizing Haley. I'm just saying he's got those eyes.
Really my age or older.
And Haley's put on a bit of weight. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
There's no excuse.
He was really good in The Boys season 2.
Marx openly stated he was a Satanist in his writings. Well, I mean, this...
Do you know where? Do you know where he said that? Or did you just take that on faith? Some guy, some rando super chatted you and immediately that's knowledge for you. You just accept that. You didn't even think about that for a second. You didn't even go, really? Really? He said that? Wow, really? That's crazy. Where do you say that? Let me take a look. That's how you get your information? Just somebody pays you $5, so I can pay you $5 and tell you literally anything and you'll believe it? What a bargain.
This is a fundamental misunderstanding of what Satanism meant to Marx and how he transposed Satanism, as it were, in all the other literature and the historical practices up until that time. And he transposed it in actually one of his very unknown early works when he was about 16 and a half.
What?
I think pushed...
Did Mark? I don't think Marx wrote anything then.
Is this idea that matter and material, as we talk about it, isn't actually just stuff. It isn't passive shit like just atoms, but instead it's actually carriers of information.
I don't even know where he's getting this from. Marx never said he's a Satanist. Satanism wasn't a thing back then. You know what I bet they're confusing? I bet they're confusing the inscription at the beginning to Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky with stuff written by Marx. Because Saul did this edgy thing at the beginning where he's like, dedicated to the first revolutionary and a bunch of other shit, Satan or Lucifer, so I can't remember exactly. But like, he wasn't avowing belief in the existence of the devil. It was a tongue-in-cheek joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. They don't believe that stuff. They don't at the end of their day, they don't go underground into their lair, put on their robes and pentagrams and start worshiping Satan. They don't believe that exists. Marx never said that.
It's carriers of information. That's really interesting. Why don't you tell us the ontology of information?
Sure. Information is that kind of systematizable stuff, the patterns of behavior that we can conceptualize, that is the result of action in the world. There you go. Stuff interacts with each other. It locks into patterns, and we can observe those patterns and make predictions based on those patterns. Not perfectly.
Is that immaterial?
Sorry, Sandy, your explanation was already paused 6 times in his reaction. That's okay, that's how it works.
You bucket kicker?
Brooks, how long have you been dead?
Unbelievable, man. You see, dude, if I was the king, look, immigration would be so secondary to me. You know? The king's hand would come up, Oh, sorry, Lord Jimbob.
Where are you going with this, Jim?
We've got tons of people at the gates. There's aliens at the gates. They're climbing the wall. It's of utmost urgency, sire. Well, did you get me the list of the suits? In the town square? Sir, you don't understand. They're coming in off the walls. Hundreds of them. Well, I told you to get the list of the suits. In the town square. First things first.
What a peculiar thing to say, Jim.
How do things work? Because we do things because things work. It's a circle, dude. Dude, that's a circle. This is solo tier, dude.
It's pre-individual. You might recognize that from other readings we do.
See how he just granted himself we and information?
Yeah, it's because he's talking to his audience, Jim. They read books on his channel. If you go onto his channel, there's like a whole bunch of streams where they just read books. They get like almost no views, and they're pretty great sometimes.
This guy just grants himself information.
That's called reading. I grant myself information all the time. It's great. Hurts your eyes though.
But it's all metastability and potentiality.
Oh, metastability and potentiality. Oh, I'm so glad you got that. I'm so glad we're there.
If I have a brick isn't a brick because form is imposed on dead matter. Like that's not the thing we're talking about here. The way that the clay comes together physically and in time, and the properties of how that clay comes together in time with other reactions and things, those constrain and participate in the emergence of form. So you could...
Dude, do you understand why the dictators, the totalitarians, it's not because these guys are dangerous. It's just a preference.
What?
It's like, oh, I'm in power now? I mean, who's the worst? Well, these guys.
I didn't realize you were such a fan of Pol Pot, Jim.
Could say that matter itself actually thinks. It isn't that where would thought be, it's that matter is thought, more or less.
There's a quote. I can't remember who it was, but it's I can't remember the Greek or the Latin or whatever it is. Probably Latin, but it's the beard maketh not the philosopher. Okay, all these guys, they got these big beards on. They think they're men, but I'm sorry, you're just a fat dweeb who works a desk computer job in the modern world. You're not a warrior. You're not anything special. You not reading books does not make you a man of action. You are a YouTuber. You're at my level. And not tremendously above my viewership, actually, by the by. Maybe before you go in public talking about this stuff, it might behoove you to take half an hour and maybe Google some of these terms so you have something to say. Just a thought.
Matter is thought.
Wait, what again? Sorry, say again. What?
Guys.
Could say that matter itself actually thinks. It isn't that where would thought be, it's that matter
does think. This is not difficult to comprehend. If you don't believe there is a separate stuff apart from the stuff that the world is made of, which, I mean, you don't, to be frank, because I don't think you've read Descartes either. I don't think you understand what any of this means. And when you think the metaphysical, I think you think the physical just with a lower level of resolution. If you're a materialist, then matter is what does thinking, right? Thinking is a complex that is facilitated by matter. Within matter. It's born by matter, so to speak. Right?
is thought, more or less.
Matter is thought?
I concur.
I just get so mad! I just get so mad! I just get so mad!
So he just contradicted himself. He said the dumbest thing ever, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Break it down for us, Jim.
he just took, I don't know, a paragraph of his own mumbled brain
Okay.
to say materialism isn't the reduction to matter itself, and now he's back.
It's not... the reduction from what, Jim? If you're a materialist, do you think there's anything to reduce from? No. If you're a materialist, methodologically, you presume that there is only the stuff in front of us and not an additional double plus good non-stuff on top of it that gives it its identity. So that's not a reduction, though. That's not a reduction to matter. That's canceling out a doubling of matter.
Back to matter is thought.
Reduction we cooking now? That's a good pun if that's what you're doing. Jim, you seem in distress.
It's not that thought from that strict physicalist view is matter. The matter itself is thought.
Well, yeah. What does it mean to... What is the difference between mind and matter if you're a materialist? There isn't one. And this bears some interesting consequences. For example, the idea that that matter absent this other stuff called mind, quote unquote, is therefore matter that has been impoverished of something goes away. Because now you're left with this strange magical stuff that does thinking. Stuff can think. That's pretty interesting. Now matter is a little bit more weird than it was originally. It's capable of doing things that you didn't allow it to before, when you insisted that all thinking was just accounted for because, oh, that just happened upstairs. Which is lame. It's lame because you're left with all the same questions. You just decided that it's not in your purview to ask them. Which is sad, because there's a lot of really cool stuff you get when you actually start asking those questions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, I know your background.
He's got books in his background?
You can't, you're not hiding. You can't hide.
I mean, look at him. He's almost Sam Hyde already.
Because Simondon and others were...
Matter is thought.
That's a Christian position, by the way, Jim. A lot of Christians like that position. The idea that the stuff in the world actually exists in the imagination of God and the mind of God and is the mind stuff of God. That ain't even an atheist position. That's not even a materialist position. There are Orthodox Christians who think this.
ultimately about taking...
This is a guitar pick.
Okay.
This is thought?
Well, if you're a theist, yeah. Do you think anything exists outside of God? Is God spirit / mind? Ergo ipso facto vis-a-vis concordantly. Your guitar pick is a pick in the mind of God.
This binary that J. Dyer assumes is foundational to all philosophy, except for the fact that it literally hasn't been for more than 100 years, 200 years for many, and shifting away from that. That binary's not for everyone.
Matter can be thought under a creation's worldview?
Yeah.
That doesn't follow.
It does, actually, Jim. It does. It does. I know, because you want to know something, Jim. I was a theist 4 years ago. Yeah. I was deep into this shit. I was a William Lane Craig follower. I got into weird stuff. I was into Aquinas. I was into Augustine. I was into a whole bunch of weirdos. I had some arguments with some weirdos who were insistent that the universe was a simulation, but like in a weird Ratzinger kind of way. Spinoza, Leibniz, yeah. Berkeley, sort of.
That's just an assertion. Whose creationist worldview?
Why? I don't even know why you're challenging this. There are absolutely creationists who think... I bet he saw in like some Discord server somewhere, a bunch of people were like, hey dude, you didn't understand anything that this guy was saying. This is embarrassing, and that's why he enlisted this. Because he didn't enlist his other streams. Look, he's got streams from a couple days ago. Look at this. We got one from 2 days ago. That's still up. We got one from 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. Why is this one secret? Maybe, I don't know, maybe he does some edits at the end. I have no idea.
Under whose view, Zill? Under whose view? Creationist is just so vague. A simulation could be a creationist worldview. That doesn't tell us anything. Thank you for that membership.
These days, to say the least. For example, Capital. I mean, there's a fun bunch of examples, but he's really doing a really terrible thing here. And again...
Oh, really? He's not said a couple words, dude.
I mean, neither has Brooks. You keep talking over him. Like, let him cook for 5 minutes.
It's fundamentally misinformation because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Wow. Unbelievable. So all of that, you didn't really say anything about Jay. Jay just said, generally speaking, materialism, that's a view. Physicalism, that's a view. Usually atheists are materialists or physicalists. He's talking generally to this view. And he just goes into a long spur rant and ends with, oh, he just doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's it.
Jimbob, why do you think you'd understand what either of these people are saying? You can't track. Like your coverage of this so far, I was open-minded. It has been fart jokes. You've misunderstood simple sentences, not even philosophically complicated ones. You confused criticizing Jay for only being able to think in moral terms with saying that what Jay is saying is immoral. Like, why would you presume to be able to understand what anybody, any part of this conversation, Brooks or Jay Dyer, are saying?
So let's talk about why I wrote this this third book, and it's called Meta-Narratives: Essays on Philosophy and Symbolism.
He wrote a book?
You meant God spoke things into existence? No, but that's... No.
Where'd it come from? Did he have a box? Did God have a box of stuff that he pulled out?
That wouldn't be the same.
Are you saying? Oh, okay, I see. So you don't think the world is made of mind. You think the world is made of sound. You think God had a literal mouth and he spoke stuff into existence because the world is made of sound. That's what happened in the third Silverwing book.
As what you said, though. Because God speaking into existence would be supernatural. It wouldn't be reduced to materialism or mechanical action, pre-fall physics, or post-fall physics, post-fall mechanics, metaphysics.
That'd be winter mechanics.
So yeah, you'd have to, now you're talking about a
That was a joke. I know you're not going to get that.
Christian view, right? You're not just talking about a creation view. No, we would say that's a category error. It still wouldn't reduce matter itself to thought, but matter
Why would matter reduce to thought? What?
Matter, you could maybe take a divine conceptualist approach and say that the way matter operates, the unity and multiplicity we see in the world, physical laws.
Divine conceptualism has to do with abstract objects. It does not have to do with matter. Divine conceptualism is like the rules that govern reality are concepts in the mind of God. It does not... No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong, Jim. You got to know your own theology here.
There's a conceptual element that binds everything together.
No, it doesn't bind anything together. It conditions how matter can work. That's no.
That unifies all. Then in that sense, but that still wouldn't make concepts material.
No, that would be God that does that. God unifies all.
That wouldn't make the concepts
Mr.
themselves
Sprague
material.
Beard, I can barely understand your incoherent rambling. If I was a dictator, I would throw you in the dungeon just because I can't stand to look at your face. And
A whole lot of these people are really proud of the fact that they're really dumb and that they would throw people into the dungeon because they can't understand what they're saying at a glance, despite having done no work whatsoever to justify even assuming that they would be able to understand somebody if they were making sense. Like, how embarrassing for you.
and hear your dumb voice.
That's right. It's not even about arresting or doing anything other than exile. It's all about exile.
You know, so much of
What's all about exile?
what goes on in terms of the
Dude, your president is in a pedophile ring. He ain't concerned about your highfalutin notions of restricting what people can say about God, dude. He's abandoned God. He doesn't like you.
elite power structure.
You're pawns. You are temporary. You are as disposable as tissue paper to them.
Is symbols and controlling us through symbols, the symbolic logos, all these things relate to symbolism. And one of the top questions I always get.
The Indian accent on the text of speech is so weird. I mean, it's not when you recognize that virtually all of the white nationalist accounts on Twitter are actually Indian, because white nationalists are dumb morons who can be taken advantage of by a person working in a call center. Frankly, power to them. Well played.
Get asked is, how do I start with philosophy? Where's a good place for me to start in terms of learning the thinking process, critical thinking?
Don't buy his book, even as a joke. Don't buy his book.
And
he's so mad.
So that's why I wrote this book, was to try to give people what I call an educated introduction to
I really don't think he's mad. I think he's having fun.
Philosophical reasoning and thinking.
Oh, God.
So it's not a boring.
Oh, God, stop picking and stroking your beard, dude.
I'm seeing your hand right here. And I know where your other hand is.
Oh, God.
It's not going to take
You look like you're in a dumpster.
you through a bunch of,
See, here's
Looks like he's in a library.
the thing. Like, I end up having weird, stupid infights with nerds and philosophy stuff. And, like, they're people who I agree with on a huge swath of things.
He's so unlikable.
True.
Thank you so much. Silent Majority says nothing. W's in the chat. Thank you, Silent. Always generous. In every chat I see you. Generous all around, sir. Happy Saturday to you. Appreciate that.
And we're fighting over incredibly complex, nuanced little things. And all I can think is Jay Dyer's writing books and people are reading it.
Oh, gosh, the jealousy. The seething jealousy this guy has.
I mean, he wrote books. People have read his books. I would actually venture to guess probably more people read Brooks's books than have read Jay Dyer's books so far. Certainly, more people have actually read them.
He's like, I want to write a book. I have a lot to say. Why are they listening to Jay? I've got a lot to say. By the way, my farts are matter.
He actually wrote a pretty good book on Columbine, which you can still buy on Amazon.
My thoughts are farts.
And we're fighting over dumb shit. And I can't get my head out of my own ass and just write something.
He's so mad. Yeah, because you're full of shit, dude.
It's not street.
No, it's because he cares about getting stuff right. And unfortunately, like, one of the things that happens when you take philosophy seriously is your opinions change constantly. You're reading for a very long time. You're reading new things. It changes how you think. And so what you were originally going to put down onto paper has changed. Like, you would know this if you put in the effort into your videos. When you do research, there's feature creep, so to speak. The parameters of your essay alter as you develop it. Like, one of the hardest things for me when I make video essays is, as I do the research for the video essays, the parameters change. I want to talk about more, and it makes the projects bigger and bigger and bigger, which means the video essays get pushed back farther and farther and farther. And, like, it's a disciplinary thing where you have to, like, learn how to, like, close the book, stop, put down what you have, and then move on. Not move on, like, from the topic, but, like, allow the imperfect position to be stated so that then other people can engage with it and you can have, like, other input.
Pooping officer, I am transforming nature through procedural.
Yes, I was working on that.
Literally pooping is transforming nature. That is literally a transformation. I know it's a joke, but literally, farting is a transformation. You are taking matter in one state and changing it into a different state. That's a transformation.
I'm going to do a whole stream that's just pure alliteration. It's all P's.
You've been doing that already. Don't worry, you're covered.
I'm going to choose a letter. You guys are getting a full stream, all one syllable sound. Hello, Avarice. Nice to see you. I just realized I'm not in Discord. Is there a no avarice policy? I don't think so. No. You can go over to my Discord. You're an autist? Yeah, autist welcome, of course.
I mean, the catch is, of course, is that transforming nature has problems by itself because everything is nature. You're not really transforming nature as it is in itself, so to speak, because nature as a category is fraught. Which, by the way, great book, Bruno Latour's Politics of Nature. Give it a read. It's very easy. Latour is very readable. This book is very good. Give it a read. But you are literally transforming stuff from one state to another, and that is included on the umbrella of nature, so yeah.
Like, I care, I get in my, I want to make something important. I want to make something that says something new.
Oh, you want to do something? You want to do all that? Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again. I forgot to hit the music.
Incredibly complex, nuanced little things, and all I can think is Jay Dyer's writing books and people are reading it. And we're fighting over dumb shit, and I can't get my head out of my own ass and just write something.
Okay, Jim, I'm gonna clarify this for you because this is probably causing you some problems. Jay Dyer is writing very bad books that are misinforming people, and we're still giving them the impression that there is nothing to look into when there are these massively pregnant areas of philosophy that people should be engaging with because they will enable us to deal with. Thank you very much, Erzatz Kegel, for the 5 gifted memberships. Very much appreciated. They will enable us to address incoming problems and future problems with greater nuance and more open minds and with better tools, right? And what's frustrating is that a whole lot of people who are actually very much concerned about that are being outperformed strictly in terms of output by people who don't give a shit about any of these things. And Jay Dyer doesn't care about getting stuff right, which is why he writes so many books and he promotes them, because he's a hack who has no standards or integrity. This is a massive advantage in terms of marketing, because you can just you can create products more efficiently if you don't care if they're good. It's like the Daikon shield of books, okay? He's shipping them to people who don't have regulatory bodies to make sure they aren't giving them horrible birth defects. That's the or infections.
Like, I care, I get in my, I want to make something important. I want to make something that says something.
Is it Daikon shield or Dalkon shield? Daikon shield sounds like a radish.
Jimbob, atheists need to be put in a little box and sent to India with all the rest of the shit on the street, where they belong.
Is this what passes for wit for you people?
Ocean Anaza super chatted $20. Show us a cool book from your bookshelf.
Very well. By the way, we are at $108 until the King Critical video. Give me a moment. I will do just that. This is my Folio Society edition of my favorite novel, Moby Dick, and it is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's like got the perfect typeface. Oh, the binding. Oh, look at that. Look at that binding. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, illustrated. It's gorgeous. It doesn't have the same illustrations as the Easton Press edition, which is also fabulous. It's just too large. This though is like, it's the perfect readable size. And look how beautiful that cover is. Just all one image. Oh. Oh, it's the tasteful thickness of it. The perfect off-white cream-colored paper. I had a Franklin Library edition for a little bit. This one's nicer. I don't know if this one's nicer, actually, but I prefer it. I prefer this one. Unfortunately, I've only come across a single copy of this one. Folio Society actually has a different copy of Moby Dick they typically publish. But this one's just like... This is the readable one. Sunday, when was the last time you read Moby Dick? It was a couple years ago. I want to say 5 years ago. But it's like, it's my favorite. It is my favorite novel. It's amazing. If you like Dune... You'll love Moby Dick, by the way. And since we're doing this, I'll give you a couple extras. Okay, I'll give you a couple extras, okay? Because they're sort of thematically related. So here is my Franklin Library edition of some of the novellas of Herman Melville. This has Benito Cereno, it has Billy Budd. Herman Melville is fantastic, by the way. I think Herman Melville is my favorite author, all things considered. These illustrations are great. Struck dead by an angel of God, yet the angel must hang. And this is my Easton Press edition of Paradise Lost. This is one of my favorite, just as a volume. And not Easton Press, Franklin Library. And Franklin Library and Easton Press books, they aren't worth a whole lot. You can get them pretty cheap because they're mass-produced. They're on a subscription basis, right? Like they're made by factory, but they are extremely well made by factory. Like this thing is phenomenally gorgeous, and also the leather's very thick. Like you can sort of see how pretty this is here. But it's like this feels so good in the hand. And check this out. Check out these end papers. Silk. It's like, oh. Also illustrated. Not illustrated by Gustave Doré, unfortunately. But still. And you know what? Last but not least, it's actual silk. Last but not least, I have my Folio Society edition of Hobbes' Leviathan. It's a little gaudy in my opinion, but still, very well made. And it doesn't have the traditional frontispiece that most editions of Hobbes' Leviathan have. This one has completely different art. And it's very good, actually. Let me see if I can find a good example. Yeah, so here we go. So this is the frontispiece for this one. And this is just, it's gorgeous. I love it, but I'd never use it. It's not really practical. It's like a giant honking thing. And I'd rather use the, like, as far as like for actual like practical use for like both for reading and for research, I would use the Hackett edition over this any day. But still, cool. Oh yeah, and you know, Ulysses as well. Alright, I have way too many books and not enough space. Alright, I digress though.
Love
Yeah.
you, brother.
Thank you. Thank
Giovanni.
you. Thank you, Giovanni.
Something new. And he's writing a book about this. Oh yeah, it's totally got it. Or
You know why? Do you know, did it ever occur to you? Huh?
What? What? What?
Did it ever
what?
occur to you that people are interested in symbology, and the rest, right?
Symbology, what? Was that about symbology? What do you think symbology means? Do you mean... You don't mean... What? You don't mean semiotics, surely.
That symbols are essential to how we interact with the world, and you can...
No, they aren't. What? No, they aren't. What are you talking about?
Invert a symbol, and... You know,
Are you confusing signs and symbols? They're not the same thing.
no, if you want to read a book, guess what you write it in symbol?
Really? What about non-phonetic languages? What are they? I'm sorry. Like I'm just like, what do you think it is that you're doing?
Does it ever occur to you that that's more interesting than anything that you could ever do? And I'm not even into symbols.
I believe you. I mean, certainly speaking, letters are symbols, figures are symbols, but like, you're not talking about that.
Really? I can't track that stuff.
Also, writing is a technology. You don't need writing to interact with the world.
But it's anything Jay would write is better than what would come out of Hogwarts substitute teacher guy.
What's the last book you read, Jim?
or the other one was. I'm not sure which one.
Genuine question. What's the last book you read, Jim?
Vulnerable narcissism.
Vulnerable what?
Can't believe this is what I come into right after.
Are you just like smiling at comments that seem to say guy on screen dumb, and you don't understand what anything's... You're not following anything, are you, Jim? You don't even know what you're doing here. You don't know what this conversation's about.
Boring
I would welcome you to talk to me directly, Jim. I'm not that scary. I mean, maybe I am to you, but be brave.
diagrams and sort of math problems. Nothing like that. It's more of...
He can't write a book. Well, he has nothing to say.
I can't write a book either, to be fair.
Ultimately, he's a nonsense machine.
He is a nonsense machine.
What would happen if this guy wrote a book is he'd
Nonsense Machine would be a great channel name, by the way.
have to proofread it, and then it would.
Next super chat I get, the light's turning green.
You know what it'd sound like? It would sound like a segment from Jordan Peterson's Maps of Meaning or whatever, just gibberish.
So they...
And then it would you know what it'd sound like? It would sound like a segment from Jordan Peterson's Maps of Meaning or whatever, just gibberish.
So they...
I mean, it is gibberish. That's true. I don't know how you made such an astute description of Maps of Meaning, judging from what I've seen, but well done.
Yeah, a literary kind of introduction.
Do give the stream likes. This is the kind of thing I do not mind with drama on this motherfucker, because there is an ignorance to his existence that he responding to things I say will make even more clear, and I just think it'll be great.
Gosh, he's so obviously clout chasing. He's got...
Jay Dyer has a bunch of Jordan Peterson videos, by the way. Is he hostile to Peterson? Or is he like... I would have assumed that Jay Dyer would probably have been on board with Peterson, because they're kind of in that same sphere.
Got a 12,000 channel, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but don't frame it as if it's like not what it is, dude. We see your schemes.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
I'm telling you, I didn't even say anything about that, dude. I'm telling you,
Brooks isn't Jewish. Just so you know.
Clearly wants to be noticed by Jay, pulled up
His last name is Brown.
into the drama cyclone, and then there's this new talking guy with small glasses, right?
What's Brooks' channel name? It's Quarantine Collective.
There's a certain irony in the fact that materialists get so upset that they can't even create material wealth. It's funny, yeah.
I think you confuse materialists with alchemists.
There's something poetic there, Jaw.
No, what's poetic is that you who ostensibly believe that knowledge is some metaphysical, magical thing apart from material, and who ostensibly believe in a God who told you to give all your wealth to the poor, believe literally everything so long as it comes with a $5 minus 30% tip.
It's funny.
Introduction to philosophy through analyzing movies, text, these kinds of things. Of course, the first two books deal with movies. This book doesn't deal with movies, but it deals with introducing the ideas of philosophical thinking and a
alchemist, like the big dude in the metal suit. Exactly.
Fuck, I'm gonna fucking have to get this book and mock the shit out of it. I should write like a counter book.
Yeah, that's all you have, dude. Counter. You have nothing positive, dude. There's nothing positive.
This guy likes so many words that are
You need a
not
drink.
That's the wrong joke, by the way, Jim. The right joke is one I won't say, but there was a right joke there.
necessary. Here is his version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Scintillate.
Thank you.
Scintillate asteroid minific fain would I fathom your nature specific.
Why do they hate Indians so much? I don't understand it. Surely they realize. Surely they realize.
Exaltedly set in the ether capacious say reasonable
That's-
facsimile of a gem carbonaceous.
That's actually that's funny. Sued overhauls of really simple songs you're supposed to just sing to your kid, like just overcomplicates them.
Sunday, don't start talking about stuff you haven't read about, you become like them. Are you referring to something I said tonight? I don't feel like I did, but if you think I did, let me know what it was.
Dude, you can't do anything.
Like
You don't see it. You don't see it.
Normally you feel a twinge of anxiety in the back of your head when you're talking about something you know you haven't, like, done the work on. Alchemy? Really? I'm sorry, did I not accurately represent alchemy? I know alchemy is not actually about turning lead into gold. Then Vox, I'm just making a joke.
We see it. You can't
I thought it was going to be something serious.
make anything. Your worldview is so cluttered and broken, you can't even
Like fair, but also, I thought it was going to be something more serious than alchemy.
coherently say anything in a book. You couldn't even make a children's book.
Joke a few years ago that we needed to write like a 12 rules for living as a counterpoint to Jordan Peterson. Jesus Christ, this feels like that. This is awful.
a God-based worldview.
He didn't even say anything yet. He's talking about symbols.
So instead of orienting our life around material possession,
Remember, if we get $108 more in super chats, I'm going to respond to the entire 14-hour video by King Critical. Isn't that exciting?
around pride, around vanity, around the vices, reorienting and shifting our paradigm to where it's oriented around
Unless you put a minus in it, in which case it'll take away from that fund.
the pursuit of truth, the pursuit of the virtues, the pursuit of rational, coherent thinking, not rationalism, but rational, coherent thinking.
Okay.
Thank you,
okay.
Suzanne.
I didn't watch this far.
Yeah, he made a 14-hour response video to a 5-hour video refuting transphobia. And apparently I hate myself, so I've set a goal of if I get $300 in super chats purposed towards it, I will cover the entire thing for however long it takes from beginning to end. It will probably be a 30-hour-long segment on the President Sunday Dark channel.
Around pride, around vanity, around the vices, reorienting and shifting
Dude, that'll be weeks. It'll probably be about a week and a half. Maybe a week. I could probably do it in a week.
our paradigm to where it's oriented around
2 hours? 3 hours every day? I could probably do it in a week. With just one long one at the end. It'll be 2 weeks, probably.
I never thought I'd say
It'll probably be like an hour segment every stream for like a couple weeks.
this, but maybe some people could use a little vanity.
the pursuit of truth, the pursuit of the virtues, the pursuit of rational, coherent thinking. Not
Why are you wasting your time with that? I'm not wasting my time with it. It's for money. It's a horrible thing, but if I'm paid for it, I'll do it.
Rationalism.
Beats working retail.
It's actually true. That fair enough. Actually, writing a children's book it would be easy for me because writing a children's book is like writing comics. You have to reduce so much and cut so much fat out. But yeah, you're right, Nicodemus. Fair enough. It's actually maybe it's harder. But my point still stands. This guy has nothing to say because his worldview is mangled.
You don't even know what his worldview is. You were playing fart sounds over his speech.
Say writing a children's book is even harder.
Do you have the I know Jay won't respond to him, but do you have the guts, Jim, to actually have a conversation directly either with Brooks or with myself? Either or. I think you should have a conversation with Brooks. That'd be less effort on my end and more entertainment by a long shot. But are you afraid? Are you scared? I got a feeling you are. I got a feeling you don't have the confidence to do that. If you do, I'll stand corrected, but I don't think so. I think you'll run. My anticipation is that you will run from that challenge. So I'm challenging you. Go talk to Brooks directly. I fucking dare you. I dare you. Do it. Let's see.
It requires such...
You know so much. You got him dead to rights. You got his number. This should be easy for you, Jim.
Such a clear view of what you're trying to say so that you don't over drench the page with verbosity that it's actually harder to write. If I had $1 for every Gen X guy with a peppery beard who has made a personality of being a contrarian, you'd have, yeah, you could buy a lot of books, yeah. I mean, this guy really is a feature of a whole underbelly that's it's very Vosh.
Vosh is younger than me. Why do you keep talking about Vosh? Vosh is not Gen X.
Adjacent. It's like Vosh.
He's not Vosh adjacent. He's like a Deleuze guy.
Vosh, but with...
Do you think this guy will pull a Doomer Media? Depends on what you mean by a Doomer Media. Like he's going to delete his channel and disappear from the internet after some embarrassing encounter? Possibly, probably at some point. Do you have the guts to talk to him? He's pretty easygoing. I dare you, Jimbob. Go have a talk with Brooks. Go have a talk with Quarantine Collective. 1 hour in the ring. I don't think you have it in you. I don't think you have it in you. I think you're a little too chicken for that. I think you're a little chicken. Cheap. I think you're a little chicken, Jimbob.
Like
I think the moment you see me say, "Hey Jim, why don't you talk to?" I think your testicles shriveled right in there, and I think they're going to have some trouble getting out. They'll get it eventually, but it'll be a struggle.
From his view, more rigorous philosophy, right? He's like, oh, I'm going to get into this. How's it going, JB? Thank you for that $5. I missed out on the beginning. Is this guy not dealing with Jay is saying? No, he's not really dealing with anything he's saying. He's not saying. He's not. Brooks
isn't scary if you want to engage honestly. Just tell him to talk about his game dev career, and he'll take up the entire hour. You want to say anything? Okay, that's the cheat code. Give Brooks an opportunity to talk about his career, and you'll have one shot at him. It'll be over.
Saying anything at all. What he's doing is what you see normally these types do. And, whatever. Good on them for reading up on the history of philosophy.
You took that personally.
During the ages, right? But the thing is, what they do...
Or Rust, that's true. Rust. Or Dota.
...is they don't ever actually deal with, like, a position. They dump. They do history dumping on you with the history of a position.
We are an hour in. He has let him speak for, I think, a collective total of less than 2 minutes.
Or that someone took the position, or what someone meant by the position. They never really get into what the actual position is, and it's pretty infuriating.
To be fair, Brooks has some interesting stories from his career.
Creating.
If I talked about my career, you tell me to shut up.
To listen to, as you guys
Career.
obviously can see. The Cheap Chimp, thank you so much for that. 5 gifted memberships. Another $2 from Shamrock. Thank you so much, you guys.
But rational, coherent thinking. And so I begin the book by talking about what was discarded in the modern era that was so crucial to the ancient and medieval world. Something that we...
What was discarded in the modern... Nothing was discarded in the modern era. What are you talking about? Literally nothing was discarded. Literally every position that existed in the ancient era still exists. It's still there. We just have more.
I want to take a minute, because it seems like he's...
Caleb Grass, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Very much appreciated.
I need to re-listen. Sorry, this is like...
The vices.
The layers he's going into are really interesting, because he doesn't know what these words mean.
Unbelievably bad faith, dude.
How's that bad faith? He's just saying he doesn't know what they mean. Bad faith would be making a statement about something you don't understand as if you have the confidence and as if you confidently understand what it is that you're responding to, and then you're moving on without having done so. That's not bad faith. Him having a negative opinion of you is not bad faith.
You don't understand what he's saying, but you have the assumption that you don't...
No, he understands what he's saying. He's rewinding it and reviewing it so he gets it particularly correct. That's actually the opposite of bad faith. He's actually making sure that he's being accurate.
He doesn't know what the words mean, but you don't know what he's saying.
But he does, though. Like...
Meaningfully in anything in philosophy.
He doesn't know anything about philosophy. He doesn't...
That's not what he said.
...know the words he's saying. I'm not going to give you a reference.
Despite...
He hasn't finished speaking, Jim.
Despite having really cool books behind him that show that he buys entire sets. I think I want some love. I need someone near me to hug. I'm lonely with my dolls.
You can think of another line. I have faith in you. Squeeze real hard. You clench your butt cheeks. Apparently it helps cognition a little bit. Or is that getting rid of tents on the bus? I can't remember.
I'm tired of sniffing glue. Lolicon won't do.
Well, your brain went right there, huh?
He did a...
Jay hasn't even said anything. Yeah, he's not... Jay's just doing a summary. Like he's doing an overview of something right now.
Thing where he talked about rationalism and rationality.
It is.
And he's differentiating those, and it's incredibly incoherent.
It's incoherent to differentiate?
No, how he's differentiating is incoherent.
A philosophical school of thought from the word itself?
No, how he's differentiating these things is incoherent.
Isn't that the opposite of incoherent? Isn't that like...
No, it's not the opposite of incoherent. If the reasons for it are contradictory or they do not follow from the statements that you give to justify it, then there's an incoherence. A coherence refers to like how things fit together. If things don't fit together, if there's like a point at which the logic for doing one thing doesn't actually result in doesn't actually connect to some other thing that you're doing but are treating as a part of the same process, that's incoherence. Right? Like when you talk about something being cohesive, right? Same root.
Isn't that like, oh, I want to make sure we don't do a word concept fallacy. I don't want to conflate two terms. If I say, hey, let's cook that kid. Maybe there a clarification around the word kid would help them to know that you mean a goat, a baby goat, maybe.
No, this is like incredibly incoherent. But it's interesting to hear how he's building these things.
It deals with introducing the ideas of philosophical thinking and a God-based worldview. So instead of orienting our life around material possessions, around pride.
Do you remember in the opening where he was like, materialism's not about materialism. It's not about having material possessions. And now he's conflating it again?
No, he's not conflating it again. He's talking about a modern view. He's talking about abandoning a previous view and adhering to a new view that doesn't reduce to either materialism in the philosophical sense or materialism in the sense of consumerism. Both.
Why would it reduce to consumerism? Consumerism isn't a philosophical position.
Both.
Because, again, he doesn't have an understanding of that. Materialist,
What?
like I'm a material girl, 80s...
Jay clearly has an understanding. He's the one who said, when I talk about materialism in this sentence, I mean the philosophical view, not the consumerist view. In this further statement, he's including the consumerist view to make he's talking about how to make your life. He's talking about how to live a life. He's talking
Buy my book.
He's talking about how to build a culture, how to maintain a civilization.
How to build a culture? Is he inventing a language? What?
God, this guy sucks.
Materialism is
That's true. Put your tongue back in your mouth, Jim. You were on television.
exceptionally based in transcendent thought and God. And
Why is he doing this? He's like... Why is he doing this?
This guy so much.
Why though?
Gosh. Is it Saturday?
Yep. I had to check.
not materialism. In fact, it's not related. But he can't help but keep going back to that because, again, the moral framework, the people watching this have grown in particular, like no one's here if they're like raised by trans people in a loving home. This is not a person who comes out of that. This is someone whose father was particular about what a man was and a woman was, what they had to be, how they had to be treated, how you have to talk to people. This is what you need to do.
I'm sorry. Do we need to translate? Okay, let me translate.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to actually attempt to reproduce what he said for a second, and I was all excited. Littleton.
Just in case you guys need a translation here. There you go. So this reminds me of a lot of those that say the argument is fallacious, but they never explain what the fallacy is. That's true.
He didn't say it was fallacious. He said it was incoherent. Those aren't the same thing.
He's not explaining it. He's not saying anything. He's just saying Jay's wrong. Jay doesn't really understand this stuff.
Well, that's saying something.
And the thing is, when you read about this stuff and do understand it, the thing you'll understand the most is...
This is what you have to do to be a good person. This is what you have to do to be a man.
You're not going to finish that sentence?
This is what you are supposed... Like, that kind of thing. And again, as I said yesterday, I don't believe...
This goes on for 2.5 more hours, guys. This goes on for 2.5 more hours. I guess 2 hours and 20 minutes. I guess he sings a little song at the end. Does he cover something else? How long does this go on for? Oh, it's 40 more minutes. Oh god, 40 more minutes. 40 more minutes.
If people significantly change after they're like 8 or 9 years old, really.
Guys, if you appreciate the content and apparently my endless suffering, please consider donating super chats and or joining the Patreon. There's extra content on the Patreon. There's a video essay in progress. There's a 20-minute preview for a critique of Angela Collier on social contract theory on there right now. There will be other stuff in the future. There will be a patrons-only stream tomorrow, in which we'll be going over the Cyborg Manifesto and covering some Felix Guattari stuff by a weird person named Felix. That will be for patrons only. Link in the description. There we go. I did my capitalist thing. Let's keep going.
You don't think people change?
And reminder, we are $108 away in super chats collectively from covering the King Critical thing. Hi, Sunday, you look handsome today. The very kind lie, but thank you.
After they're 8 or 9 years old.
He is such a poopy moth. I would to do smoochy dookie with him.
That's a compliment, Brooks.
Well, why would someone of his background hold such a view?
What do you mean his back? What are you talking about? His background. He worked in game dev and he worked at LucasArts. He's worked at movies. What do you think his background is?
He's like a creepy psychologist.
He is.
I mean, I would never leave any kid, even a stranger's kid, even in an emergency with this guy.
Why would you leave a kid in emergency period?
There was a fire, and it looked like the only way out of the fire was that a kid had to grab this guy's hand. I would risk it.
What are you doing with the kid, Jim?
I would risk it. I would risk the death.
Why are we presuming that you just have a kid with you every single time?
I don't think there's any...
The only person who brought up lolicon and kids dying in this entire conversation with had nothing even remotely thematically to do with that was you, Jim. I find it weird that that's on your mind. I was not watching this conversation and thinking, damn, this really makes me think of children being abused.
A difference between a 9-year-old and a developed man. Let's hear that again. You guys, they say so much. They say so much, and they don't...
It is kind of weird. What's going on there?
No.
Like, does he have a wedding ring on, or is it just like that?
How much we listen.
I guess he's got a wedding ring on. Okay.
Thought and God and not materialism. In fact, it's not related. But he can't help but keep going back to that because, again, the moral framework, the people watching this have grown in particular, like no one's here if they're like raised by trans people in a loving home. This is not a person who comes out of that. This is someone whose father was particular about what a man was and a woman was, what they had to be, how they had to be treated, how you have to talk to people. This is
psychologizing.
What you need to do. This is what you have to do to be a good person. This is what you have to do to be a man. This is what you are supposed, like that kind of thing. And again, as I said yesterday, I don't believe people significantly change after they're like 8 or 9 years old, really.
Okay, so then if people don't significantly change after they're 8 or 9 years old, there's no real reason from your view, you perverted freak.
To what? There's no real reason to what?
To set any boundaries with kids then.
What? No, that would be the opposite, actually, Jim. Because if people are very malleable as children, then you have to be extraordinarily careful with them, right? Where is this coming from? I don't understand where this is coming from. Why do you have pedophilia just so etched in your brain? This conversation has to do with how we conceptualize stuff in philosophy. Why is this on your mind? Like, do you look out your window for sirens when you close stream, Jim? This is weird. This is very weird.
You're on my list. Thank you. This guy's on my list. Quarantine collect.
That's all his wife, I'm presuming, heard as she left. This guy's on my list. What? How strange.
Collective. That's the name of your channel. You're now on my list.
But why?
There's one of these creeps at every card shop when I was a kid buying trading cards. That's where I recognize him from. Yeah. Yep.
You have delusions in your card shops?
They're in the Lego shop at the mall. That's always frightening. Like if you're walking through the mall, you know, the Lego shop catches your kid's eye because it's so colorful and it's so kid-like. And it's so weird. You go into any Lego shop now, this phenomenon of neoteny, people frozen. No wonder these people think.
I need to hear that one more time. I legitimately did not understand what he was trying to say there.
Catches your kid's eye because it's so colorful and it's so kid-like, and it's so weird. You go into any Lego shop now, this phenomenon of neoteny, people frozen. No wonder these.
You go into any Lego shop. Neoteny is the process of sexual maturation. Jim, why do you keep thinking of kids in a sexual context? What are you... Like, it's not like there's this came up in the conversation. This is just coming from your end. I'm going to assume that you don't understand what neoteny means, because the following sentence talked about people being frozen, and neoteny doesn't mean that.
These people think there's no distinction between 8 or 9 years old with his age, is because he finds himself in kids' toy shops.
Neoteny is like when you carry like juvenile features through puberty, right? Am I wrong about that? Neoteny, the retention of juvenile features in the adult animal or the sexual maturity of an animal while it is still in a mainly larval state, as in the axolotl. Okay. I was in the ballpark. Why are you... why?
Not the reactive way in this sense. It takes a lot of work, with some exceptions. The thing...
I don't agree with this man. He must be abusing children. It's actually weirder. It's... I don't agree with this man. Let me now talk obsessively about abusing children and talking about how they're... I'm just so uncomfortable now.
He's doing is those people need a place to see this invested, to be seeing things that...
Yeah, it was so irrelevant. That's what's so weird. He's just like...
But he didn't say that, though. Like, the reason why he's talking about... oh my god. He's not talking about child abuse. I mean, he kind of is in a certain sense, but he's talking about how, like, the gravitation towards, like, virtues, God, da-da-da, sort of like ceiling concepts. Ceiling concepts. And I say ceiling concepts because they're like things that occupy the place of God in a Sunday school mentality in adulthood. Like that's kind of what these things do. It's about creating that reassurance of the sort of grounding that having a tyrannical patriarch in your family technically provides. It's grounding. You're not grounded in anything good. It's a violation of your dignity and autonomy, and it stunts you, but it's grounding in the sense that it fixes you to certain things. Not necessarily good things. These people tend to be really messed up later on. But you're going on about creeps in Lego shops for some reason. And I find it very strange.
Like, listen, you guys know my take. There's really no fundamental difference between an 8 or 9 year old and me. Right, guys?
Where is this coming from?
You guys are with me, right? Wood chipper.
They can
Where is this coming from?
I'm chipper today. Wood chipper.
Why'd you delete your... Why'd you enlist this? Is it not... yeah, still enlisted. Why'd you enlist this one?
He thinks matter is thought. He's noted.
You know what I do when I think of saying a word and I don't know what it means? I've got two monitors. I got one here. The one here is the one with the video I'm watching. And then I got one here. And so I minimize OBS and I Google the word. So I just double check. I double check and make sure, because I'm constantly second guessing myself. Am I saying something correctly? Is this correct? Do I know something? I think I know something. Let me just make sure so I don't make a fool of myself. I usually fail anyways, but that's what I do. You can, if it occurs to you, neoteny, you can Google that and make sure that that's the word you want. That's a thing you can do. You can do it on your phone. You can just ask the chat sometimes. I do that.
He's retarded.
Tie themselves in
What the hell is that?
with, right? So when they see him say rationalism, but not rationalizing or some shit like that, that conversation is very particular. And that language is very particular. So he says things like, I don't like people rationalize. That's bad language. Dad didn't like that language. Don't
What? No, dude. What is he doing?
Don't make
What kind of critique is this, dude?
excuses, but be rational. That good language. And so think of it as attractive or repellent things, right? Like that's how this should go. My keyboard is too.
Oh, this is the funniest part.
Okay. This is the funniest part. Wait, so we pre-watched this. This is the level of response that you're giving, and you pre-watched it. You've seen this before. So this is round 2? I assumed he was going into this blind. This is round 2? Really? So this is your second pass.
This is the funniest crap ever.
Okay.
He's literally making up like a Dungeons and Dragons type of game here. Watch what he does.
Sensitive today. I need to go back to where I was.
Okay.
Watch this arbitrary game he just plays for
I'm
his
watching.
audience.
The setup basically is when you see him say thing X, right?
Okay.
And you'll see him say a few other things. And you're wondering, why do people believe this? What you're doing is you're assigning this is you over here. Hi, you're hanging out. You're seeing all of these things from your perspective and how you've understood them and how they're related. But that's not how this fucking goes. Just so you know, it's not how this fucking goes. Because what he's actually doing is he's seeing this, and anyone else who's seeing it is placed somewhere in here. Okay? And I'm not an artist. I don't give a shit. But what they're doing is they have a relationality with various points. Negative, positive, negative, and then positive.
Oh, wow. He's figured it out, you guys. This is...
I don't believe you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, sir.
so insightful, yeah. Human beings, you and me, we look out in the world and we perceive some things as negative and some things as positive.
Hey, editor. I think this is the thumbnail.
Are you guys following?
Oh, I'm following, Jim.
Various points as a thing. So as he's going, they're attracted to or repelled by various terms, and his job is to place them in particular places. Because again, he's already doing this. He's part of it. He's not doing this like knowledgely, like he's not aware of it. It's not grokking it.
He's not doing it knowledgely.
To use that term.
What?
He doesn't know what grokking means.
He's not aware of it?
That's not what grokking means.
People like him are exactly why I don't hang out and play games like Magic at the game stores. Yeah, exactly.
This person spent $50 to say bearded men who talk about philosophy are why I don't play Magic the Gathering anymore. I hope that was a better investment than your kid's college.
Exactly. Creeps.
I don't know, dude. Like one of yous is bringing up like apropos of nothing, just kids getting abused because just on your brain constantly. That is like foremost in your mind. You see a guy who looks like you and you think, oh, child abuser. And I think that's a little weird. I think that's a little weird, Jim. I think it's a little strange. I get unwholesome intuitions from that behavior.
Thank you for that.
Probably
Very
also
generous tip,
multiple
by
other
the
ways
way.
here. He's not doing that. What he's doing is performing that.
Thank you so much for that.
He's performing that.
Orienting our life around
Watch this. This is so funny.
material possessions, around pride, around vanity, around the vices, reorienting and shifting our paradigm to where it's oriented around
Knowledgely.
the pursuit of truth, the pursuit of the virtues, the pursuit of rational, coherent thinking, not rationalism, but rational, coherent thinking. And so I begin the book by talking about what
is that? What does rational, coherent thinking mean? Like, what is the basis for that then?
Rationalism versus rational, coherent thinking is really an interesting way to sort of.
When you're talking about rationalism, specifically you're talking about reason or discoverable reason inhering in the world, and what is rational, therefore, is that which conforms to that, either in particulars or in form. you don't really have a basis for distinguishing between the rational and the irrational if you don't have a rationalism in the world, because the measure is gone, right? Like the thing that determines rational from irrational thinking is now removed.
Interesting. Interesting.
Like it's philosophically, rationalism is a fucking thing. Like it's not just a
wow. You guys, you listen. This guy could teach a course. Rationalism, philosophically speaking, is an effing thing.
What do you think that means, Jim? What do you think the content of that sentence was? Because there was content there. Specifically, he is saying that there is actually something very specifically being said in philosophy when you say rationalism. It is not simply a catch-all term for whatever. Like you are positing something when you invoke that. You are positing something specific that then commits you to particular styles of arguments versus others.
Did we get that, guys? This guy's really... This
guy has spent an hour and 10 minutes making fart jokes and saying, what? What? Words are hard. Children.
This guy's owning Jay. I mean, this guy is owning him.
Well, I don't think he is owning him because he hasn't actually managed to say anything yet.
Just so you guys know, rationalism is the view that reason itself is the primary source and test of all knowledge.
No, it's not.
That
you've put reason into that definition. That's not the definition. That's circular.
Prioritizes intellectualism, whereas in a Christian view...
Wait, what? Prioritizes intellectualism, what?
View that reason itself is the primary source and test of all knowledge.
No. Whose reason, first of all? No.
It prioritizes intellectualism.
What does that mean, it prioritizes intellectualism? What does that even mean?
Whereas in a Christian view, you don't deny that aspect, but there is a noetic reality. There's a spiritual reality.
Noetic has to do with knowledge. That's not a spiritual reality. There's a knowledge reality? Why is it... What does that mean?
There's something that isn't reduced to pure rationalism.
You don't know what these words mean. You just don't know what these words mean, dude. I don't think he's using AI. AI would get this right. You don't know what these words mean. Which is weird, because this stuff is made available to people in your sphere at a very basic level. Like, people at your level talk about, for example, the noetic effects of sin. The idea that not adhering to Christian values actually has an intellectual impact on your ability to think properly. The idea that essentially sinful beliefs or a lack of belief or faith in God results in a kind of essentially spiritual brain damage that you are actually incapable of intuiting the truth, as like somebody who does believe in God is able to. Like that's a thing that is said. They will talk about the noetic effects of sin. This is not hard. Why are you just saying words you don't understand? You can Google these. You're at a computer right now. You have the wealth of the world's knowledge at your fingertips. You don't even have to pay for it. And as archive, you just use the slightly different address. You can still just download everything. You can search this online for free. The AI, the like OpenAI and all these things, they've already stolen all that information. You can get it from ChatGPT for free.
And he's making the distinction that just simply being rational doesn't mean you're believing in rationalism.
It doesn't? Rational as like a shorthand just means sane or like logical or coherent? Oh, I see what he's doing. I see. He Googled it. Look at this. That's what he did. He did exactly what I suggested he do. He Googled it. And then he just went off of it. And it's like, no. No, dude. No. Sorry, someone's messaging me. Like, oh, I don't even know, man.
It's a clear distinction.
Super chatting bad, Bob chatting good.
In other words, you could have a rational position that to reject rationalism, the way it's defined philosophically, as a thing.
Random word people.
If Owen Benjamin was a rabbi, I don't even think, it's, honestly, I'd hate to, you know, this guy makes me even compliment that guy.
Throw out there. It's the idea that there is knowledge that exists.
That's right.
A priori.
There is knowledge that exists a priori. Cool.
What do you think that means?
Is that rational? Is that a rational view?
Yeah, the idea is that there is a coherent structure that gives rise to phenomena such that you can have there is a reason inhering in the world that makes knowledge of it possible, that makes knowledge possible. That's rationalism. Whereas an alternative view, for example, might be that knowledge is something pragmatic. We construct concepts based on a combination of experience of phenomena and also of society. And we find that like certain concepts work to a certain point, certain ways of thinking and knowing work to a certain point, certain ones don't, at which point we change them up a little bit and we experiment and we try for things that do work. In which case, your theory of meaning, say, or your theory of knowledge might not be one that makes a statement about the world itself, but might make a statement about the particular history of how we've interacted with it in a certain place and time. It's not hard to grok, actually, if you know you spent like 30 minutes, just 30 minutes, read a Reddit post about this. Just look up like, hey, what does rationalism mean in philosophy Reddit? You'll find tons of stuff. People love posting that stuff on Reddit. There's often some pretty good explanations. You'd have something better than this anyways.
Is that a rationalist view?
It exists that is derived from independent sources, and independent experience. This is, I think, therefore I am, and also the good philosophers. Leibniz and Spinoza, I would probably say, is inside of this tradition.
That's a little bit of a dick move. I don't think Descartes' a bad philosopher per se. He's just somebody who had to be superseded. But by the same token, you wouldn't get Spinoza or Leibniz without Descartes.
This guy needs to be...
You're putting Descartes before the horse a little bit there, Brooks.
Just literally exiled.
Why? Why does he need to be literally exiled?
There's ways to read them that pushes that, but they really sit there. It's...
Like, you have not actually demonstrated a capacity to respond to literally anything that's been said by either of these people in this entire conversation. It's remarkable, actually. It's impressive. You spent an hour and 11 minutes saying nothing. Okay, well, let's say an hour. We'll say an hour. You had the intro screen. Say an hour.
So bro is a 9-year-old well, don't, careful, Kelly. He probably believes that. That's probably his way of rationalizing his thoughts as well. So, I mean, you're probably right, but...
It's really weird. Like, I'm just imagining the smell. I'm imagining the smell of the kind of person who has this lack of self-awareness, and therefore a corresponding lack of hygiene. I contemplate the smell of the room of people who super chat to this, and I am filled with horror.
I don't give him any excuses. This intellectual wizard is dropping so much knowledge, I don't know if I'll be able to retain it all. I mean, he's just teaching. This is just teaching.
It's that thing that he's talking about, this idea that there exists knowledge that is that objective thing. There's a reason Leibniz and Spinoza...
I don't think that was his wife. Well, we can only hope, and hope it's not a child at this point.
...and others talk about God and put him in a very particular place and try to build a world that makes sense with him.
What about this was fart-worthy? He's talking about how philosophers made room for God in their philosophy. Do you disagree?
Both of them actually, by today's standards, would be
You don't even know what he's saying, do you?
considered atheists. More or
Like, I'm not talking, like, obviously you don't understand what the sentences mean, but you're not even hearing anything.
less. Spinoza was heretical.
I think therefore I am was debunked by Kant. No? What?
To say to the
Heretical.
least, he's absolutely heretical. Leibniz too. But
oh, gosh, it's so insufferable.
it's rationalism is literally the tradition that is the intellectual backdoor Christianity has used to stay relevant.
Because the reason of God inheres in the world. That's true.
What does that have to do with anything Jay's saying?
It's a byway for justifying belief in God in a world that has largely removed him from every explanatory role. Like, God is now identifiable with the order inhering in reality. That would be that would be how, Jim.
Notice he doesn't say like Enlightenment rationalism out of his, out of the corner of his.
Kant did not debunk Descartes. That is a weird thing to say. First of all, philosophers don't do that. That's really dumb. They critique. They unpack what people are saying, and they show what they are also saying by what they are saying. Right? So, for example, in Kant's Critique of Pure Reason, one of the ways, like, he begins by critiquing the idea that you can reason about things outside of space and time, like, for example, properties of God. And so what he points out is like, well, actually, when we think about how we think, and just in very crude terms, you perceive things and you conceptualize things as if they are spatially related to each other. And you have to think them in sequence because thoughts need to lead from one to the next in order for there to be sentences with meaning, so you can actually have, like, a development of thought. So therefore, the conditions of your thought and your experience and your perception are within space and time. Therefore, these things can't attack stuff outside of space and time because those are beyond the conditions of their operation. That's critique. That's critique.
His mouth, or scientism, which again, not things I personally am like jazzed with, but those are very particular strains of
It's
rationalism.
in the effing section.
And that conflation he's making is really interesting to me.
This guy only has a t-shirt.
He has nothing to say about what he's saying. It's just he has a t-shirt. You're making comments about his shirt. He's got a shirt. Brooks has a shirt, guys. He's got a shirt. Look at the shirt.
Really interesting.
This guy's got a weird white suit, and he's got a badly lit bookshelf with a bunch of random shit on it. Like, that's... How about I don't, he's got a Hawaiian shirt under his jacket for some reason? Like, it looks weird. It's a weird look. This is also a weird look. You look like a serial killer in the woods.
Really interesting. Really interesting. Oy vey. That's really interesting, that thought you had about the 6-year-old. Very.
He didn't have a thing. Why are you thinking about 6-year-olds again, Jim? Jim, you're the only one thinking about children. You leave those children alone, Jimbob.
Very interesting. I'm not going to say any value judgment. It's just interesting.
It's really interesting. Really
Oh, really interesting. Really interesting. Really interesting.
What was discarded in the modern era that was so crucial to the...
Again, I legitimately think that a very good use for this person would be the deployment of his IQ, rounding up, as maybe a safe shorthand for the temperature that you can preserve meat at effectively.
All he has is psychologizing and meta. Yeah, all he's doing is meta. Wait until he starts
That wasn't meta, actually. Meta to what?
drawing. It's hilarious. Watch.
Is the joke that he draws diagrams?
It's just this blurry. I just checked. I thought, like, oh, did I have it on 360p or whatever? No, he's just blurry. My dude. A nice lighting can go a long way to sort of creating a
No, that's not the right thing for you to say with your visage.
nice contrast.
Well, Brooks is clear and his audio is crisp. J Dyer sounds like he's recorded with a potato, and he looks like he's recording in a hotel bathroom. So I don't know what to. Weird.
Cast in video so that way
No. You
Weird.
should get a blurry camera. Definitely.
you don't have this odd blur effect as if
In fact, you shouldn't even be on camera, bro. You should have one of those, like, what are those, like, you look like a peanut or something, like a piece of corn. That would be appropriate for you. Something else, some object, a hammer, a ruler, anything. The old paper clip, right, from the early computer systems. Anything but your face, dude.
if you're
I think we can call it here. I don't think we're going to hear anything of value tonight. How much longer do we have? 30 minutes. How much do you guys want me to finish this? How badly do you guys want me to finish this? We're at the 3-hour mark. How badly do you want me to finish this? Super chat your feels, please.
you're, I don't know, streaming from a potato.
You pre-watched? You saw this? No, that's not an original joke, Brooks. Everybody talks about recording with a potato when it's bad.
This is old, dude. This is before he could afford, like, or wanted to spend on a camera. You know, chill, dude. Chill, bro. Find yourself a spouse who loves you like this guy loves the mouth. Yeah.
You can't even read his mouth fart sounds, not the mouth fart sounds.
Yeah. Find a spouse who
At
loves you.
Calabrasa super chatted $5. Stop.
Okay, fair enough. I'll stop. Listen, Jim buddy. Okay, I believe you grew your beard to hide the fact that you have a chin that has a worse slope than mine. I don't believe your balls have dropped. I think you're using a voice changer to deepen your voice, and I think you are terrified. I think you are entirely terrified of talking directly to either Brooks or myself. You were invited to do either. I recommend talking to Brooks. It'll be funnier, but you know what? You're welcome anytime. Just drop me a DM. I don't think you have it in you. I think you're a little mouse. I think you're a little mouse, tiny little mouse. I think you're running scared from a picture of a cat. So anytime, call in. I stream virtually every day. Hell, you know what? I'll try my darndest. If you DM me and you want to just talk right away, I'll try really hard, okay? But I don't think you have the guts. I think you know. I think you know how it will go for you. And I think your cowardice is born of wisdom, Jim. All right. That's it. I'm going to go read something and pass out. I'm going to send you to... Who's live right now? Is Aiko still live? I'm sending you back to Aiko. We're double rating tonight. Have a good night, everyone. I will see you on Patreon tomorrow. We are going to be going over the Cyborg Manifesto by Donna Haraway. Godspeed.